Hey friend, and welcome back to my knitting podcast. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, hi, hello, my name is Krystal Aliyah. Nice to meet you. And if this is not your first time seeing my face, hey girl, what's up? Welcome back. Also, happy Wednesday. It is January 14th as I'm recording this. Happy Whip Wednesday to those who celebrate. I'm sure most of the people who are watching this podcast do celebrate it. Funny enough, while I'm actually doing this, the first episode is actually supposed to be premiering in like an hour. So that's a little funny. I didn't expect it to take a whole week to edit. It was only because my editing software and storage and everything, it was so not my friend. It is time to get started. So go ahead and grab that project, a cutesy drink, a nice little snack, and it's time for us to get started chatting and crafting. Speaking of cutesy drinks, I have mine right here. Today's is going to be the Bloom Pop prebiotic soda. I got the peach pineapple flavor. I haven't had this one before. I've tried the root beer float and I think it's watermelon something. I may be getting that wrong, but I wanted to try this one because this one's new to me. So that's what I'll be sipping on today. And my straw kind of matches. Okay. Okay, I am a fan of pineapple, and I've become a fan of peach here like the past year or so. I don't know why, I'm just like really into peach, especially the white peach Red Bull. Oh my gosh, that is like my second favorite flavor. My first favorite flavor, hands down, cannot compete. Coconut berry Red Bull, the absolute best one. But yes, this is actually really good, and I will be sipping on this probably the whole video. I will not be knitting in this podcast today. That is okay because I have a lot of things that I want to talk about and show you. So I'll be looking at my iPad and doing things on that. Plus, last night when I was doing my porcelain sweater, I had this weird feeling in my forearm. I don't know what it was. It wasn't excruciating, but it felt off. And so I thought maybe I should give myself a day or two off of knitting, just a little break, just to make sure nothing is messed up. Because I do have a tendency of knitting for like 45 minutes to an hour straight, like no breaks, just like 60 full minutes of just knitting, and that is not good on your arm and your wrist and everything. So you definitely need to take breaks, prioritize your health and your body. You want to be able to craft, whether it's knit, crochet, needlepoint, whatever. You want to be able to do that for years and years to come, and you don't want to have an issue where, let's say, you hurt yourself so bad you can't do it anymore. That would be tragic. So I am trying my best to avoid that, and that leads us to our check-in of this week. The topics are knitting goals, knitting plans, New Year's resolutions. To sum it up, I really want to knit at least 6 sweaters this year. I feel like that's an obtainable goal. And I know you're gonna think like, did you not just say in your last episode, you've only been knitting since July of 2025? That is true. That is true. I've only been knitting for 6 to 7 months now, and I don't have a completed sweater yet. The reasons are either I did not like the yarn I did the sweater in, I didn't like the shape and the style of the sweater halfway through doing it, or further than halfway through doing it. And the third reason, the biggest reason, is because I didn't purchase enough yarn to actually finish the garment. So I do have 2 sweaters that are whips at the moment because I just didn't have the yarn, and we're gonna talk about that later. But other than that, since I do have 2 current whip sweaters, I feel like making 4 more throughout the rest of the year is totally obtainable. And I feel like if I pace myself and I do it just right, it'll be easily accomplished. My ultimate goal, like overall, is to have a collection of hand knit, high-end looking natural fiber knit sweaters by myself. And I feel like if I want to get that kind of collection, I have to start somewhere and I have to start setting goals. So if I can at least do 6 sweaters this year, this will set me up 1 for this year, and then 2 going into 2027. I'll already have 6 made sweaters that I can wear and be proud of and motivate me to make more. I genuinely feel in my heart of hearts, this is so obtainable because if I set aside 2 months for each sweater, that'll fill up the whole year. And I know that means spring and summer when it's hot, but I'm not going to wear it in the spring and the summer. I'm going to wear it obviously in the fall. So if I start on it now and I finish it in the spring and then I finish another in the summer, or however many by the summer, that means I'll just have those 2, 3, or 4 finished objects to wear when it does get cold, which will then even further motivate me to keep going and make more. So ultimately, I want to do 1 sweater, and I give myself a timeline of 2 months to do each sweater. And then kind of along the same timeline of that, I want to finish 6 pairs of socks by the end of the year. I was able to do a pair of socks, and I think my second pair of socks I ever did for myself, it was the Messa Dream socks by Brianna Arlene. and I did those socks in less than a month and a half, I believe. And I took a big break. That was the reason why, because like I didn't touch them for like 2 weeks, and then I finally picked them back up and finished them, and I zoomed through it. And plus I really love this pattern. This is such a good pattern to me. Like, this was the first pair of socks I ever made. I made a pair for my boyfriend first, and then I made my pair, and I fell in love with like constantly having color work, constantly changing. Like for me, I need something to keep me stimulated and interested, and color work is the best thing to do that. And so I don't get bored, I don't get tired. I just want to get to the next section, the next motif, the next chart. Like, you know, I'm constantly wanting more and more. So I end up finishing it quicker. So I feel like 2 months for one pair of socks, totally doable. To increase my chances of success, I have tried my best to prepare as much as possible, and I'll continue to prepare as this goes along through the year, because if I'm prepared and I'm equipped with everything I need, there will be no issues. It'll be seamless. So I already have a knitting queue. I actually created this back in like November, December of 2025. And I have a whole knitting queue for 2026 of a lot of sweaters. It's about 15 sweaters, I believe, so yeah, 17 sweaters that I know for a fact that I will be knitting. It doesn't have to be now or this year. It can be next year too. But it's like, I know for a fact I want that in my sweater collection moving forward for the rest of my life. That way, when I'm like halfway or like 75% of the way done with my current project, I can go and make my yarn purchase for my next 2 to 3 projects and go ahead and just have that ready in the cart and then check that out and have it on its way to me. That way, when it's delivered, I can go ahead and get started, and there's not no weird lags of time. Like right now, I'm in a current weird limbo of time, and it's not that bad. It could be way worse, but I'm trying to avoid these scenarios. And so preparation is our best friend. Had to get another sip. So good. Okay, let's kind of speed things up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my bingo card up on the screen now. This is my 2026 knitting bingo card that I made for myself. I actually really like it. The idea that I didn't want to give myself too many freebies, but I also didn't want to make it impossible. I want to challenge myself, but not make it to where it's like I have a 10% chance of success. Like for example, the very top one that says finish an unfinished object. That's easy. I'm going to finish like the 4 whips that I have. So clearly that's an easy check off. And the one next to it, dye yarn. I already know I'm going to do that because I literally purchased the supplies to do it. I did it, I believe maybe May or June of last year. That's how long I've been thinking about this. I just haven't opened it up and started it because I'm waiting. I'm trying to get a few more materials before I do it so I can make it kind of worth the time. But anyways, I'm going to do it. So I put it next to that. And then go to a knit or crochet circle. Color work, also a very easy one for me to do. And knit a saddle shoulder sweater. And this goes along the lines of my knitting goal to knit 6 sweaters this year. And I want to do different constructions for each of those sweaters. I don't want them all to be raglans. I've done 3 raglans. Well, I don't say done because I'm still working on them. I am working on 3 raglans. And then I'm also working on a drop shoulder, the porcelain sweater. That's a drop shoulder sweater. And that was definitely interesting. I don't like knitting flat, but I can do it. I know I can do it. It can be done. It's, again, not a race, so I can take my time. But there's so many different other constructions out there, and how do I know if I like them if I never try them? So I'm going to try to do a saddle shoulder sweater next. I'm not going to read all of these off. That's going to take too long, but a lot of these I'm very proud of, like try a new craft. I have plenty of crafts that I like to do. I'm a very crafty person. If you didn't watch the first episode yet, or if you haven't been on my channel at all, I did start with crochet first. I did crochet a little bit in high school. That's when I learned, and then I never really made anything from that. And then fast forward like 10 years, I picked the crochet hook back up. I started crocheting again. And then within about not even 6 months into crocheting again, I jumped over into knitting, and I've loved it over here knitting ever since. So that's kind of like my new top hobby, I would say. Like, it's not my only hobby, but it's my very top hobby. I love it the most. And another easy one is attending a fiber festival. I saw so many people. I learned about fiber festivals last year from posting my crochet content on TikTok and Instagram. And I got so many friends, and I found out so much information that way on social media. And fiber festivals are definitely a big thing, like a really highlight event. And I want to go to one. Like, why not? So I'll be attending one in February and then another one in April. I'll definitely record those events and turn those into like little vlogs. I think that would be so fun. I do want to complete a test knit. I did sign up for a test knit in 2025, which is the barn raglan, and I did not finish it because I didn't purchase enough of the body color yarn to finish on time, so that was such a headache. I had plenty of the contrast, but not enough of the main color, so it was like so disappointing. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah. Anyways, visit a local yarn store. Excited to do that. There's a few I have in mind. I just need to actually go and stop like building it up in my head. And then also visit a local yarn store in another state. I can't wait to do this. It'll probably several different states because me and my boyfriend have a big trip planned in June. We're gonna go to one of his college friends' weddings, and we're thinking it's like 85% decided we'll be driving because one, we want to take the dogs, and two, we both want to do a lot of stopping. Like he wants to look at some brewery stuff. I want to look at yarn stores, and I feel like it'll be a great way to utilize the feature on Ravelry. I don't know the name of the tool. I don't know if I can, but I'll show clips of the Instagram reel I learned this from. But basically you'll set your starting point and your destination in the GPS or in the map of Ravelry, and then it'll show you all the yarn shops in that area or on the route to your destination. So if you want to go to one or all of them, you can do so. And I'm going to utilize that so heavy because we'll be going up the whole East Coast of the US. So there's plenty of stops to be made. Clearly, we're not going to do all of them, but I do want to make at least 3 or 4 stops, and specifically in Vermont, because that's the destination of the wedding. I'm obsessed with the idea of going on a trip or traveling and getting souvenir yarn from that destination and then crafting or knitting some kind of souvenir from it. I think that is so wholesome and genius because you'll have those memories of that travel knitted into something that you can physically hold and see. And every time you hold and see it or use it, you'll think about that trip. And it's just a lovely way to keep memories going. So yes, obviously my knitting bingo board is definitely crafted and curated for me, and I've set myself up for success with that as well. I feel like I'm trying new things, doing things that I already kind of do anyways, and then finally put things into motion that I've had on the back burner for a while. So a lot of good things coming up in this year of 2026. And the last thing I want to talk about, because it's just iconic that it happened before I started filming this, is the Join a Knit Along box. I actually had no intention of really doing this. I put it on here as like a suggestion to, you know, just try something different because I haven't done a knit along yet. Well, technically I did because I did the test knit, but like an actual like knit along like with a specific group. I haven't done that before, or yet I should say. And before I started recording this, I was on Instagram, and what do I see? CM Knits posted that they'll be doing a knit a loon of the loon sweater, and I have the loon sweater on my 2026 knitting queue as one of the sweaters. So I was like, is this not perfect? It's a knit along and it's a sweater I want to make. So I'm hitting goals and I'm checking off bingo boxes. Like, it's a really good option. So I think I will be joining it. They said they'll be casting on February 10th, which is literally like 1 day shy of 4 weeks from now. So I have the time to get the yarn, get it shipped and delivered, and just prepare and then do my gauge swatch so I can be ready to cast on the 10th. And I think it's perfect. So I probably will be joining that, and I'll post more about that in separate videos and then mainly on social media like TikTok and Instagram. So this is me promoting my socials if you want to follow me and you want to be friends there, so you can see things a little bit more currently and quicker than you will on my knitting podcast. Okay, a little peek of sunlight as we move over to our finished objects of the week. I don't have any finished objects this week. Most of the projects I'm currently working on are like large projects, so they're gonna take a while, but I will at least highlight this one thing that I did, or these 2 pair of socks that I did last year. These are my first ever pairs of socks. I mentioned these earlier in the video as well. These are the Mesa Dream socks by Brianna Arlene. I really like this pattern. It's a great color work pattern. Also my first socks ever. Like, these are the first socks I've ever made. The first pair is the blue-green pair I made for my boyfriend. They are in Stroll's fingering weight yarn. The green color is called Melon and the blue color is called Blue Steel Heather. Really like it. He loves, like, absolutely loves his socks. He wears them all the time. I do need to de-peel them probably sometime here soon. They've been getting a little fuzzy because he wears them all the time. He does throw them in the washer, so they do last through the washer and the dryer cycle, which I was very afraid about. I wasn't watching him do the laundry the other day, and I saw it after it already happened, and I was like, oh my god. But they were fine. So you can machine wash and dry them with the Stroll's fingering weight yarn. Of course, I'm gonna knit my own pair of socks. Hello. So I did my pair, this gray and pink pair, and this pair is in Drops Nord yarn, which is like I think like some percentage alpaca, some percentage wool, some percentage nylon. You can definitely smell the wool. I'll put it that way. I always heard people mention like, oh, you know, wool has a smell when it gets wet, or that wet wool smell. And I'm like, what are they talking about? When I blocked these socks, I found out very quickly exactly what they were talking about. So yeah, my hair is actually dirty, which is why I don't have them here to show you, but I really do like them. They're so cute, very comfortable. I made them just a little bit too big on the foot, like the length of the foot. I didn't make it short enough so it doesn't fit snug on my foot if it's a little bigger. And yeah, I enjoyed doing the afterthought heel of this pattern. That was really fun. And this was also my first color work project, was my boyfriend's socks, and I kind of was learning about color work and gauge and tension and color dominance, and so that was really interesting. And I don't know, I'm not afraid of socks. If you're afraid of socks and you're like, I don't know if that's something I would do, they're so small. Honestly, I think socks are the best things to test things on because it is small and it's like kind of forgiving. Sorry the segment is so short this week. Hopefully next week I will have at least 1 or 2 things to show you. I feel so official now. I purchased a basket the other day to hold my whips, and it makes me feel legit, you know? I feel a part of the crowd. I'm not gonna talk about this too much because I talked about it enough in episode 1, but this is the Barn Raglan by Miranda's Knits. She released a pattern on January 2nd. It is a gorgeous, beautiful raglan. It's done top down. It has a beautiful like barn star motif on the body, and I cannot wait to do this. I'm still in the same spot I was in November because I'm still waiting for Knit Picks to restock the woodland yarn in Aspen Heather so I can finish the body color, or I can have more of the body color to finish. So when that restocks, I will purchase more yarn and finally finish this. But so far it's looking really good. The body color is woodland yarn, Aspen Heather, and the contrast color is woodland tweed yarn and the color woodpecker heather. And it's like this gorgeous burgundy red color. It's not too bright, and I think it pairs so well with the Aspen Heather. I think it's gorgeous. Cannot wait for that to be done. I think it's just gonna look so good on me. Yes? Okay, ignore this red thread. This is my safety line in case I need to go back and change something. I just want to shout this out because I think this is so creative and looks so lovely. But for your increases on the raglan, it's like 4 stitches wide. It's so pretty. I think that is so lovely. I really cannot wait for this to be finished. I have so many good ideas for it. So stay tuned for the project / test knit vlog about it. The next whip is my porcelain sweater by Les Knit. Love this. It is such a pretty garment. I cannot wait to get done with it. I am using Drops Lima yarn to do this one in because I've seen a few people on Instagram show that they use Drops Lima and it came out really pretty, so I'm using Drops Lima and I love the colors I chose. I was debating between either like a dark pink color for the contrast or this light green, and I went with the light green and I really like it. I feel like this is definitely something my style. I love a neutral. I love a tan, beige, or grayish kind of color, and this is definitely it. And then the little accent of green is just my taste. As you can see, I painted the bedrooms green because it's just such a beautiful, calming color. And I love it so much. And it looks good on me. So there is that. Last week when I was filming, I was working on this. And I just joined around and I was starting the second color work chart. And as of now, I am 7 rows into the third color work chart on the body. And once I finish this, I'll have, I think, a little bit of just plain stockinette in the body color and then the ribbing, and then I'll be done with the body. And then I can go back and I can do the collar. And I am kind of stuck here because one, like I said, my forearm was feeling weird last night and I didn't want to push it too much, so paused on it. And also, I don't believe I'll have enough of the main body color to finish. So I do need to make another purchase and buy more. I'm holding off on making the purchase. I'm going to use what I have now. And then it's not even like yarn chicken. I know I will need more yarn for the body, but I'm holding off because I'm trying to find the perfect yarn that I want to use for my loom sweater. Like I said, I want to do the knit a loom. I'm so sorry. There's like a fuzz right here. But yes, I'm holding off on making the purchase for more yarn to finish the porcelain sweater because I do want to get the yarn to make the loom sweater. So I am going to kind of scout around, look around on that for a little while. I'm trying to decide if I want to buy more of the 𝙺𝚗𝚒𝚝𝚝 from Lind Hobby or Wool Warehouse. I've heard of Wool Warehouse, and somebody else said they had a good experience and they have a good selection of drops as well, which I did check, they did. But I don't know if there's going to be another yarn that I want to use for my loom sweater. All in all, I'm really liking knitting that. I'm a little bit worried about my tension and gauge. I've tried to correct it. I did stop halfway and kind of like measure my gauge, and it was a little too big. So I'm trying to find the perfect way to have good tension and knit. And I think that's another reason why my forearm is kind of messed up, because I was doing so many different holding methods of yarn, and it was like a lot probably for my arm. So oh yeah, the colors I'm using, this color is called Chalk and this color is Sage Green. If you watched episode 1, these are all the same whips from last week with hardly much progress. This is a delayed Christmas knit gift I'm making for my mom. This is the Winter Sock by Sandra C. This is so pretty. I love it so much. Her sock is knit with red as the main color and white as the contrast. My mom said she wanted white and burgundy socks for Christmas, and I love my mom to death, but she's just like me. She's a little bit messy. So I decided to do Dove Heather instead of white. The main color is Dove Heather and Stroll fingering weight yarn. And then this red color, the contrast color, is called Holly Berry, also Stroll fingering weight yarn. And I think it is just so pretty. I am a little concerned about bleeding. I haven't blocked it yet, so I am a little worried about that, but I didn't have any bleeding with my boyfriend's socks when I did his in Stroll fingering weight yarn, and he had green and blue. But see, red and gray, that's a pretty big like jump of color, so I am a little concerned. Either way, it's a gorgeous pattern, looks really good. I did do a few modifications to make sure that it fit her foot a little bit better. I'm very, very proud of, I believe this section of the sock is called the gusset, where I do this part for the heel, but the seam right here, there's like no hole. Everything looks really, really good, and I'm sure it's gonna fit great. It just looks so clean and crisp. This construction of the heel took more effort than the afterthought heel, but the look of it is really nice and elegant, so I do like that. I'm still in the same spot of the foot that I was basically at last week. I've only did like maybe 6 rows since then. I kind of just knit this when I'm traveling in the car and stuff like that, but I do need to sit down and really finish this. But yes, this is sock number 1 of the pair, still kind of same place. I mentioned it last week. I feel like if I had the short circulars to knit this on, I would be done so much faster. DPNs aren't bad, it just, for me, it's just a little bit extra movement, so it takes a little bit longer to knit. So I'm not as keen to picking it up and knitting with it. I love knitting in the round with circulars, and if I don't have it, I don't tend to knit as much or as quickly. And the last whip, which is also a belated Christmas knit gift, is the Sailor Slippers by Any Sews. I'm doing this in drops snow yarn as the pattern recommends. The green color is Dog Moss, the red color is Crimson Red, and the sole of the slipper is in Toffee, which is a brown color. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Again, all I have to do is seam up the slipper and do the I-cord and I'm done, and then I can felt it, but still haven't done that. I just realized my nose ring was like flipped over in itself. That probably looked ridiculous for the first like whole half of this video. Anyways, now we're gonna talk about acquisitions. I only have 2 this week. One is another book and the other is an actual tool. So I actually bought this for myself for Christmas. This is a neck light. I got it from Lind Hobby. You can't see because my hair is dark and this thing is black, but it sits around your neck like this, and then you just turn on your light like this, and then you can shine light on your project that's in your lap. All right, let me turn that off. But the way the living room is set up, there's no light source behind the couch or next to the couch where I like to knit. So when I'm looking at my project, it is pretty dim, and I don't like to use the overhead lights. I love a lamp. I like soft ambiance, but it's like the lamp does emit enough light, but when I'm knitting, sometimes it's just not enough, and I feel myself, like my eyes are straining. So I got this little guy. Instead of buying a whole new lamp, I bought this. That way I can shine the light on my project while I'm working, and I don't think it disturbs my boyfriend. I've only used it twice, and he hasn't said anything about it, so I don't have to move furniture around or buy a new lamp or anything like that. This works just fine. And plus it's portable, so I can bring it with me when I'm passenger princess and I'm knitting. At night, I can just click this and shine the light without having to use the overhead light in the car that shines up light all over. This just shines it again directly into my lap, so I don't have to worry about distracting him. Well, it's still probably a little distracting, but it won't be as distracting as having the overhead light in the car on. This thing was like untwisting itself, so it was like all loose. And we have a book again this week. I know last week I had 2 books. This week I only have 1. I accidentally forgot about this one. I got this from the same place I got the last 2 books last week. 𝚒𝚗𝚒𝚝𝚝. It's a giant thrift store for books, movies, CDs, games, things like that. It's like a huge warehouse, and it's so well organized, and everything is like so neatly done. Like the whole crochet knit section for books was so like, it wasn't like organized by name and title, but everything was right here and everything was accurately labeled, so it was easy to find and go through. But I did get this because I wanted some kind of book about socks. That's like the theme this week is socks. I keep bringing up socks. This is Country Weekend Socks, and this is written by Madeline Weston. And this is 25 classic patterns to knit. So something to build on, or like obviously do, but then I can just like build upon these. And there were like 3 things that I wanted to highlight. I remember flipping through the book before I decided I wanted to get this, and there's just like so many good ones in here that I want to do. Like this one right here, this one down here. There's another one. These like Argyle socks up there. There's like 2 more, but I know for a fact there's 5 patterns I do want to knit in here, and the book was $6, so that's $1.20 a pattern. Justifiable. So I got it, and I am very excited to get started on that. Okay, son. But yeah, I am excited to knit these. I do want to try different sock yarns. Quick hydration break. Now it is time for movie and show recommendations of the week. This first show, I feel like Netflix has been doing a good job promoting here recently because I keep seeing it on like different platforms, is His and Hers. This is a thriller limited series on Netflix. It came out in 2026, and it's okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, the acting and some of the like script, I give it like 2.5 stars, but the ending, like I wasn't expecting that kind of ending. 5 stars because of the ending. Like the ending itself should get 5 stars. The rest of it is 2.5 stars. It is a show about estranged spouses. Estranged, so you can only hint there are some problems and difficulties in their marriage. But the husband is a detective and the wife is a news reporter, and there is several murders that happen in their small town that they're from. And obviously as a detective, he wants to get to the bottom of it and find the prime suspect and the criminal. And on the other hand, the news reporter wants to expose all the juicy secrets and details about it. It is good, but like I said, there's just a lot of moments in there in the show. For me personally, I was just like, I'm trying not to spoil it, but altogether it is pretty good. I think it is a good watch. After that, I watched Hostage, which is a political thriller and also a limited series. I believe it's about 5 or 6 episodes. I can't remember, but it was really good. All in all, I want to give that one about 3 stars or 3.5 stars. It was all right, especially after seeing Official Secrets. If you watch episode 1, I talk about Official Secrets, another movie that's on Netflix. And after seeing that and then seeing Hostage, I felt like there was so many other ways that things could have been done. And I'm like, why are we choosing the difficult route? But yeah, Hostage is about a British prime minister who her husband gets kidnapped during some intense negotiations with the French. And so she tries to reach out to the French president that she's in the negotiations with for assistance and help. And then some things start happening behind closed doors to the French president to where she's like put in an impossible situation. So then both of these political leaders are in kind of impossible positions to make some really bad choices. And then it just starts to unfold, and it's good. It's good. I would definitely recommend it. I would give it about 3.5 stars. And this last one, me and my boyfriend are actually currently still watching. We're on the very last episode, so we should be done with it soon. The show is called As You Stood By. This is a K-drama crime show kind of series on Netflix. We do watch it dubbed, so the mouths don't match the words. So if you're someone who doesn't like that, might not be for you. Also, very, very big trigger warning. If you experienced abuse or domestic violence, this may not be the show for you. That is a big majority of what this show is based around, which is the crime. It's two female friends. One of them is experiencing domestic violence with her husband in her marriage, and the other friend grew up in a household where she had to watch her mother go through domestic violence. I don't want to give too much away, but I do think it is a good show because it's bringing awareness. I'm not saying what's going on in the show is good. What I'm saying is I'm glad that the show is bringing awareness to the topic of DV, because some people don't know the signs. They don't know how to interact with victims of DV. And it's just something that I feel like people don't talk about. If anything, I've heard people make like tasteless, crude jokes or comments here and there about DV, and nothing about that is funny. So it's nice to see that there's awareness being put out there, and then also like little things you can do to help. You know, as someone, if you do notice something like that, you know, check in on that person, you know, try to be there for them, support them, and, you know, little things like that. They go so far. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing because I'm doing a lot of talking. So let's end this video with highlight patterns of the week. Starting off the year, fresh out the gate, this stunning piece right here. This is called Monochrome by 𝙺𝚗𝚒𝚝𝚝𝚒𝚗𝚝. I don't think I said the last name right, and I'm so sorry. I love how sheer and delicate this is. If you can't tell by the pictures, there is a row of the pattern where it's just mohair, and then the other row is made out of superwash merino. So there's a part of the mohair that's sheer and see-through and soft, and then you have the typical textured fabric of the superwash merino, so it's not see-through. And I think that is so pretty, and like I just love the way she has it draped across her body, and it's like off the shoulder. It's like the perfect loungewear garment. Like if I were to make that, I mean, obviously I would try to wear it in public so people could see my brilliance, but I would mainly wear it indoors as like a lounge piece, because this is so honestly sexy. It's sexy. Like if I was wearing this, I would feel sexy, honestly, because like the way she has it like off the shoulder with the lacy bralette, and I don't know, like this, I would love this. Like, and I feel like it would feel so soft and so good. And then to just look that, oh, I would love this. I love this so much. Like I cannot wait to find the mohair for me, because I will make this eventually. I think this is like peak loungewear. I haven't even said the best part, my friends. It is free. It is free on Ravelry. I will have it linked below in the description if you want to check it out. I already have it downloaded. When I saw it the other day, I was like, absolutely yes, times 10. I downloaded it. It's already in my saved queue, and it will be something, if I don't knit it this year, I'll knit it next year. I obviously love the pattern, and when I make it, I don't know if I want to do black. A part of me kind of wants to do like a deep green color, or potentially a very, very light pink color. I think that would be pretty too. Or even like a gray. This does come in 13 sizes. The smallest bust circumference was 38.25 inches, I believe. And the largest bust circumference was 60.75 inch bust circumference. So if you feel that that is somewhere in your range, or you like that, the pattern again is free and linked below. Again, I am not like an affiliate or a sponsor or anything. I get nothing from you clicking on links and going to stuff. Not at all. It's just me spreading the word. That's all. And this next one is for us dog lovers. It is so common to find the cutest cat designs and cat patterns out there on different knit projects. It's like kind of rare to find a really cute dog one. And when I saw this one, I was like, oh, how cute. I've got to talk about it and share it. This is the dog-filled hat. I am more than likely going to mispronounce the creator's name, so I will leave it here on the screen for you. I got this off of Ravelry as well. It is so stinking cute. I love this. If I were to do this, I would probably do like a brownish color with a grayish brown contrast, if that makes sense. So like a nice like chocolatey brown, and then like a grayish brown contrast, so it would complement each other pretty well. I think that would be so, so cute and brown. So now I have like a personal mini side quest of finding different dog pattern knitwear items. It is also knit with sport weight yarn, which I feel like will work up a lot quicker than like a fingering weight or 2 yarn tail double. I feel like a sport weight will be a very quick and easy knit. And I love the idea of having a bunch of different breeds of dogs and different little motifs going through the whole pattern. So I feel like knitting this as a beanie wouldn't be so boring as like knitting like plain stockinette. Like this will keep me interested the whole time. And the last one I want to mention is also kind of a fun one in my opinion, because it involves felting. If you know what felting is, it's basically agitating something to where it sticks to itself or sticks to another fabric, and it creates a new kind of composition, if that makes sense. So if you've heard of the tailor slippers, you know that those are felted wool slippers. So you knit it with wool yarn, but then when you wash it, the agitation of the fabric and water makes it stick to itself, and then it kind of shrinks and forms a solid fabric instead of a knit kind of holey fabric. This creator took that idea and made a tote bag. This is the Nordic Tote by Matilda Anderson. Do you see this? Do you see this tote bag? This is lovely. Like, I would love this. If somebody made me this, I probably would cry. Like, seeing this, if this was in store, I already know this would be well over $300, but because it's handmade, to me it's even more expensive. This is gorgeous. I would want this in green, like a kind of like olivey green color, and then a dark brown. I don't know what is with me in brown lately, but like I would want that in a dark brown because I know I'm messy, and I feel like the brown would go with a lot of different outfits because I wear kind of like the same kind of like neutrally kind of colors. So this would go with a lot of outfits, but also if it got like something spilled on it, it wouldn't be too obvious. So stylish in my opinion. This is also a newly released pattern from January 2026. This is also a paid pattern. This is not free like the other two I mentioned. This one is paid. It reminds me a lot of the Sailor Slippers pattern because it's knit with drops of snow yarn, and it's also knit on 8mm knitting needles. So if you've purchased that pattern and bought the supplies for that or have that on hand, you can basically make this if you wanted to instead. The way the designer describes this is so perfect. The Nordic Tote is a felted crossbody bag with a thick shoulder strap and a modern design. I love how it's designed as is, but what if you were to add on some pockets to like the outer facing side of the bag or even on the inside? I think that that would make it even better. It is so cute. But I think this is definitely doable. Again, labor of love, but so worth it. This would be my new like project bag. And of course, I'll put the measurements up here on the screen for you. I think she does it in centimeters on Ravelry, but I'll convert it to inches. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed taking the time to sit down and chat with you guys about the things I'm watching, the patterns I'm liking, the projects I'm working on. Like, that is so much fun for me. I do need to film a Whip Wednesday to post to Instagram and TikTok here in a second. So I will get to that, but I want to thank you so much for watching. If you stayed to the end of this video, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to leave a comment, any questions, any comments, suggestions, anything like that below. I'm definitely open to hearing that. Also, please feel free to screenshot the knitting bingo board card that I had at the beginning of the video. I don't care if you take it and use it for your own, or if you want to rearrange some things to how you like it. I did leave an empty space in case someone did want to make a suggestion for me to put in there, or maybe I find something as the year progresses that I can put there for myself. But I think it's a really great knitting bingo board. Also, I'm impartial because I made it. But if you did like it, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I will be posting these podcast episodes every Wednesday, so you can look forward to that every Wednesday. And then I'll also be sprinkling other little videos here and there as we go on for different things, knitting, hair related, and kind of like lifestyle stuff here and there. So yes, if you want to join, you are more than welcome to. Please remember to be safe and stay healthy while you are crafting. And I hope you have a wonderful week of knitting, and I'll see you next week. Bye.